Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana-Salakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Hare Krishna, everyone. So we'll continue reading chapter 19 of Teachings of Lord Chaitanya book. So after hearing the arguments and talks of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the Mayavadi sannyasis who were present became pacified and replied in sweet words, "My dear sir, whatever you have spoken is all true. A person who attains love of Godhead is certainly very fortunate, and undoubtedly, you are very fortunate that you have attained such a stage of love of Godhead. But what is the fault in Vedanta that you do not study it? Although it is the duty of a sannyasi to read and understand Vedanta. According to Mayavadi philosophers, Vedanta means the Sariraka commentary of Sankaracharya. By Vedanta and Upanishads, impersonal philosophers mean, according to the commentary of Sankaracharya, the greatest teacher of Mayavadi philosophy. After Sankaracharya came Sadananda Yogi, who said that Vedanta and Upanishads should be understood through the commentary of Sankaracharya. Factually, it is not so. For the Vedanta philosophy or the Upanishads, there are many other commentaries made by the Vaishnava Acharyas rather than those of Sankaracharya. Mayavadi philosophers influenced by Sankaracharya do not find any importance in the different Vaishnava philosophical understandings. There are four different sects of Vaishnava Acharyas called Shuddha Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, Advaita Advaita, and Achintya Veda Veda. And all the Vaishnava Acharyas have written commentaries on the Vedanta Sutra, which the Mayavadi philosophers do not recognize. Mayavadis make a distinction between Krishna and Krishna's body, and therefore they do not recognize the worship of Krishna by the Vaishnava philosophers. Therefore, Therefore, when the Mayavadi sannyasis inquired from Lord Chaitanya as to why he did not study Vedanta Sutra, the Lord replied as follows: My dear sir, you have inquired why I do not study Vedanta. In answer to this question, I must speak something, if you won't be sorry on hearing it. All the Mayavadi sannyasis present said, Now we shall be very much pleased to hear you, because we see you are just like Narayana, and your speeches are so nice that we are taking a great pleasure in hearing your words. We are very much obliged to see you and hear you. Therefore, whatever you say, we shall be very glad to accept and hear patiently. Then the Lord began to speak about Vedanta philosophy as follows. Vedanta Sutra is spoken by the Supreme Lord Himself. The Supreme Lord, by His incarnation as Vyasdev, has compiled the great philosophical treatise Vedanta Sutra. Vasudeva's incarnation of the Supreme Lord means that he cannot be likened to the ordinary person who has the four defects of material existence. The defects of the conditioned soul are he must commit mistakes, he must be illusioned, he must possess the tendency to cheat others, his senses must be all imperfect. When we speak of the incarnation of Godhead, we understand that is transcendental to all these defects of the conditioned living entity. Therefore, whatever has been spoken and written by Vyasdeva is to be understood as perfect. The Upanishads and Vedanta Sutra aim at the same subject matter, the supreme absolute truth, and when we accept the import of Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishads directly, as they are stated. It becomes very glorious for us, but the commentary made by Shankaracharya is indirect and is very dangerous for the common man because by understanding the import of the Upanishad in such an indirect, disruptive way, one becomes practically barred from spiritual realization. According to Skanda and Vayu Puranas, Sutra means a condensed form of words which carries meaning and import of immeasurable strength without any mistake of or fault. Vedanta means the end of Vedic knowledge. In other words, any book which deals with the subject indicated by all the Vedas is called Vedanta. For example, the Bhagavad Gita is also Vedanta because in the Bhagavad Gita, we'll find that the Lord says that the ultimate end of all Vedic research is Krishna. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which aim only at Krishna, are to be understood as Vedanta. In transcendental realization, there are three divisions of knowledge, and they are called Prasathanatrayi, the department of knowledge which is proven by Vedic instruction like the Upanishads is called Shruti Prasthana, authoritative books indicating the same thing and written by liberated souls like Vyasa. For example, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, and the Puranas, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Mahapurana, are called Nyaprasthana. From the Vedas, we understand that the Vedas originated from the breathing of Narayana. Vyasdeva, who is an incarnation of the power of Narayana, has compiled a Vedanta Sutra. According to Sankara commentary, there appears another name, Apantartama Rishi, who is also credited with having compiled the codes of the Vedanta Sutra. According to Lord Chaitanya, the codes of Pancharatra and the codes of Vedanta are one and the same. The Vedanta Sutra being compiled by Vyasadeva is to be understood as spoken by Narayan himself from the whole descriptive literature about the Vedanta Sutra. It is understood that there were many other rishis contemporary with Vyasadeva who also discussed this Vedanta Sutra. The following sages Atriya, Asmarthaka, Odlomi, Karsnajini, Kasaksina, Jaimimi, Badari, and other sages such as Prasari Karmandi also discussed Vedanta Sutra. Actually, in the first three chapters of Vedanta Sutra, the relationship of the living entities with the Supreme Lord is explained. And in the third chapter, the discharge of devotional service is explained. In the fourth chapter, the result of the relationship of discharging devotional service is explained. I'll stop here and I'll summarize what we studied today. So the Mayavadi sannyasis, they agreed on whatever Mahaprabhu spoke, but they were curious to know why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uh, don't study the Vedanta. We see there are four different sets of Vaishnava acharyas mentioned like Suddha Advaita, Visishta Advaita, Dvaadvaita, and Achintya Veda. So Mayavadi philosophers, they do not find any importance in different Vaishnava philosophical understandings because all these Vaishnava acharyas also present their commentaries on Vedanta, but Mayavadi philosophers were not interested in understanding that because they make a distinction between Krishna and Krishna's body, so they do not recognize the worship of Krishna by the Vaishnava philosophers. Then the Lord replied them why he don't study Vedanta because the Lord has mentioned here people in general have four defects. That is, they commit mistakes, easily illusioned, and cheating propensity, and imperfect senses. Uh, However, the Lord is transcendental to all these defects, and His incarnations are also transcendental to all these defects. So, Vyasadeva is incarnation of Lord only, Vyasadeva compiled the Vedanta Sutra. So, Lord suggested that we should accept this as it is because the commentary given by Sankaracharya is that is indirect and it's very dangerous for common men. So Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which aim only at Krishna, are to be understood as Vedanta, and also the meaning of Vedanta Sutra is given like Sutra, a condensed form of words, and Vedanta. Um, so Vedanta Sutra is like in 15.15 sloka Bhagavad Gita also Lord says that sarvashesha hridhi sannivistam atasmritim jnanam apohanam cha vedesya sarvar ahameva vedanta videvacha means all the Vedas, their main target should be we should understand who is God, and Krishna should be understood through Veda, all these Vedas, understand the relationship, what is our relationship with the God. But that was missing in Mayavadi philosophy. So as per the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the direct commentary of the Upanishad and Vedanta Sutra is glorious. Later on, maybe tomorrow we'll read. So we all know that Shankaracharya, he is incarnation of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva is a great devotee of Lord Krishna, Vaishnava Nama Yatha Sambhu. So and Lord Shiva is also one of the 12 Mahajans. Then why Sankaracharya, maybe like this question comes to our mind that why Sankaracharya gave such kind of Mayavadi commentary, which the Lord recommend not to follow. Those reasons may be like we'll read tomorrow, like how Lord Shiva mentioned in Padma Purana, I think that we should not, because that commentary is for the people who are engrossed in a mode of ignorance, not for people who are in mode of goodness. We'll read those things tomorrow for better understanding. Now we can go for